Alright, so today we'll be installing this washing machine in our toy hauler. And you'll see this must be a really good one because it's got yellow stuff right on it. Energy guide, $8. Look at that. That's what it's going to cost me annually. That's amazing. Now, this one is made by a company called Comfy. And I think Media, M-I-D-E-A was the manufacturer. I'd imagine it's not from the United States, but who knows. So it's about 70-80 pounds. I'm actually quite surprised by it. It's like your normal house washing machine. It only cost about 200 and some change. I thought it was, and it's supposed to be like a portable washer machine. And it comes with this, and you got your hoses and an adapter to go to a faucet for like a house, or a hose, or whatever I guess you can plug it into. It's 110 volt. The directions say 120 volt. For those of you that don't know, 110 is 120. They're the same thing. Standards have changed throughout the years. So 110, 120, same thing. Not a different country, United States. They will work. And like I said, this one's like a normal house machine except smaller. I was impressed by it. If you look inside here, you have an actual tub in there with the actual rotating thing. Separate from there, you have a little lint trap here to get all your lint out. Our house one doesn't even have that. And now that I got that out, it doesn't seem to want to go back. Oh, there we go. And gives you a plug in case you wish to plug one of them off. You can. You don't have to use both hot and cold if you do not desire to use both hot and cold. So like I said, it came with this stuff. This stuff was all in there. Here's your owner's manual. Put that in the normal place. And you got these hoses. This did originally come in a box with some styrofoam under it and a bottom cover. I thought the bottom cover was part of the packaging because it was on top of the styrofoam under the lid. So I was like, well, what's this junk? And it is in the dump now with the styrofoam. They're also thinking about would have probably been a good idea, since this is an RV, to keep the piece of went in here to put back in while we're not using it, to keep this from banging around on the road. So I don't know, we might think up something for that. Didn't even think about it until I started moving around here today, but that might be something. Other than that, seems pretty good. We'll see how it does in the long term. Now, this has absolutely no way to mount it, so you'll see there's some brackets on the bottom to mount it. I made those. The very bottom of this is plastic. It's like a plastic frame. It goes to this. There's no real frame in it. It's all just the sheet metal, and then from the tub and everything from the top is pretty much what everything's attached. So what I did here is I made these little angles out of 60,000 steel, drilled some 1/4-inch holes, put some beautiful self-tapping screws in that'll go through the entire plastic frame, all the different layers, so it can grab as much as possible. I put 2 through there so that way it can be fairly secured. I opted for sideways rather than up down, because up down they could pull out. Sideways they're kind of pinning this to the floor and not so much relying on the screw, more so the pin of it being in there. And then I put a hole here so I can screw it down to the floor. And that way this can still be supported by its normal feet. So the frame is still carrying the weight in the normal manner. These just help keep it there while we're on the move. Now, for the RV side, this KZ Sportster has your washer dryer hookup. So you have your hot and your cold. Hopefully they're connected the same. We don't actually have water hookup right now, so we're not gonna be able to test it immediately. We'll test it on our first trip, and that's probably after that is when this will get posted. So now here's your drain plug, and to get this out, I actually had to remove this panel, play around with this. I ended up having to use a pipe wrench on it and a wrench here, and after almost punching through to the outside, I got this loose and discovered that, guess what? They put a lot of glue inside this when they put it on, and it drained in here and glued this in. So I actually had broken the glue seam on the bottom of the plug when I got it out. So if you're doing this, I would imagine you have this. Now, this says remove the waterless trap before using mechanical drain cleaning devices. Waterless trap can be damaged. So there's some sort of little waterless, little straight thing in there. And you pull this off and immediately you can tell it doesn't work like a normal trap, and not that great. So honestly, in between uses, because you're not going to be using this all the time, you're not going to use this on every trip, maybe the longer ones, and certainly not every day on the longer ones, maybe every few days or something like that. I would thumb that in to keep that closed and put this in and out as needed. You can pull this and completely drain it then every time too, and hopefully in doing so you'll help keep bacteria from growing in this unit as well. I would also probably have this open all the time unless you're using it, or maybe even on the road just close it while you're driving, if you desire. So now let's get to the hookup. So this is going to be extremely easy, guys. I hope you're ready for this. So we have a hose. It's flexible. It has fittings. We have another hose that is also flexible and also has fittings. Attached to it, you'll see the quick connector if you look fast, but you must look fast. So this is the quick connector. It's meant to connect quickly to things, and also disconnect. And you saw how quickly it was able to disconnect from this hose. So it seems to work pretty good already. I'm impressed. That's a joke. Let's get this all off of here. We don't want this plastic on here. They really didn't want that fitting coming off, did they? Oh man. Ah. Now, these hoses are very long. You probably don't need them this long. I don't need them this long. I may or may not look on the internet for different ones. And now you can see how this quick connect works. You would pull this, and that comes out. You can put this here. You would screw this on, right? And then you'll notice this has a very fine thread pattern, because it's made for like your kitchen sink. So you could just screw this into your kitchen sink and leave it on there, and then quick connect this. Now, I am not connecting this to a kitchen sink. I'm connecting this to the RV. So we'll probably put this somewhere for safekeeping in case we ever do use it for that sort of situation, but not now. We're just gonna have it. So all we need is these two hoses. Then you come around the back and you have an extension or a power cord. So super easy. You just take it out, get it ready. Now what we want to do is put this into its position. So it weighs like, I think 70 pounds is what the instructions said. It seems like everything we put in this RV weighs 70 pounds. So keep that in mind if you're gonna go buying accessories for your RV. They will probably all weigh approximately 70 pounds. Now, I have a D-ring down here. I have to get in there to put screws in. I'm going to be using this to try and give me the best reach that I can. But I gotta be able to get in there. So I gotta have this in such a position that I can do that. So I'm trying to position it based on that D-ring. I wanted to go all the way back with it. I do still need to connect these, and they'll need a little bit of space. So basically, walk that side back till that foot hits that D-ring. I can feel it, you know, it doesn't want to go, it's raised, it's one of those. And that's where it's gonna live now, providing I can still get this in there. It needs to come out just a little bit from the wall. Oh, that'll give me plenty of room. This is like this isn't even tight anymore. This is like, what's something that's not tight? I mean, I could think of lots of inappropriate things to say, but I'm thinking of something real world. I don't know. But anyway, whatever. Boom. One down. We gotta get this one in the back corner. It's hard to do this with the GoPro on. Hi! How do I get back there? Let's get this beautiful Makita vacuum out of the way. This Makita vacuum is quite handy. We also have a dust collector on here. It has a filter, so you have two areas. This kind of prolongs the life of the filter. It also uses the same Makita batteries as all your other Makita tools. This model has 3 different speeds: high, low, and medium. And as you can see, you can do, has an adapter for floors, one for corners, or you could just take this off and go straight at it with the pipe. On to business. They do not, by the way, they don't, what's it called? Give me money. What's that? Endorse. They don't endorse me. You're not gonna see me putting the screw in if I can even get it in. They don't endorse me. That was just there, and I thought it would be funny. Was it, guys? Gotta go off feel here. There we go. Yes. All right. Now, last 2. These ones are easy. Hopefully that's not like the water tank. All right, there we go. That thing is secured. All right, now, got a little bit left here. Let's see here. Are we gonna get any light? Not much of a help, maybe some, who knows. All right, doesn't matter which one goes where, but you do wanna make sure that you do your hot to hot as it is on here. On this model, here's our cold, here's our hot. So, let's do our cold first. Matches the RV's positions as well. So we're golden there. So you want to make sure that you have your washers in these so they don't leak when it comes time to turn on the water. And you also wish to try and keep them neat. So let's coil that up nicely. And then just like everything else, since you're not going to be using it every time. Oh, sorry. Alright, since you're not going to be using it every time, just like everything else, I would personally opt to keep I don't know why this moves so easily and this one doesn't. That's weird. But I would opt to keep the valves in the off position unless you're actively using it. And like I said, that'll just keep it from like leaking on you and not knowing. Let's do one less coil just to make sure it's not putting a whole lot of stress on there or anything. So I would always have it off just as if you didn't have it installed, just so that way things don't leak. One less thing you got to worry about, right? Unless you're actively using it. And then those times you're actively using it, by all means, actively use it. So now I'm going to try and put this in to mirror that one, just for looks. There we go. And now these are kind of knurled on the ends, so you can do them by hand. Obviously this thing is meant to be portable, but you may end up needing to not do it by hand at some point in the future. But for now, they seem to work very well for that. So that's good. There we go. And now we have our hot and cold. Now this has a maximum of 39 inches. I measured by eye, not really. And this is that. So now you would take this, and then you would, according to the instructions, you use this. It keeps it from kinking and supports it. You feed that down in there, bloop, 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 until it's hanging out like that inside the drain. And then you're good to go. Use away, it's gonna dump. But then when you take it out, it's going to hold some water, which then expect that. And you'll probably want a bucket or something inside here, so you can drain it then. And then you can just hang this right back up on here. Now, I have it twisted a little bit so that way it'll want to go that way. And that's fine. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around. It'll just hang better if I can. So let's see if we can't get this off of here. I'm sure we can. It's just a matter of wanting to. Let's see here. There we go. Just flip it around. Boom, and there you go. And now it'll hang a little nicer. We have this here, which is a closed drying rack, because we don't want to get a drying machine. Those use lots of electricity. And it might actually fit in here very nicely. Oh, look at that. Turns out it does. So that's where that's going to live while we're not using it. But I did read that this spin dries very well, and you should expect to be able to hang your clothes to dry in a normal environment and expect them to be dry within a couple hours. So there you go. There's that. We got that on the good old Saks website with some American Express points. Discount. Now, I'd imagine here in the RV you have a vent fan, so it sucks air through. It can actually move air. They might dry better just chilling in here than they would in a still air in your house or whatever. So that might be good. Now obviously this will plug right into there, which is your GFCI. I don't know that I like it over here, but it's better than not being over here. Let's see if we can get it in such a manner that we can utilize our stairs here and not interfere. So we have a little hook here. It's hanging on a little hook. And then we got these little things here so we could store this stair ladder without using like real screws, since there's nowhere really great to mount things. Plus then they're always removable. These are the 3M command strips, so you can always pull them out and move them somewhere else if you want. Put new adhesive on there. We might have gone a little far with it, but it works great. And there you go. Now I can kind of keep that out of the way. That can stay plugged in and ready. Let's see if it actually even just turns on. It does, look at that. And you have lights like a normal thing. So let's see, you could pick your procedures. And there's everything. Thinks it's going to take 59 minutes for a large load. Let's change our load size. There we go. Oh wait, delay. We don't want a delay. We'll keep it on 0. Or you can set it for a delay, however long you want. So you can go somewhere, and then let's say we're going to go to dinner. We want to hang these up when we get back. We got an hour drive for dinner to this place we want to go or whatever. And this thing's going to take an hour to go. So we could set this for like a 2-hour delay. So you got an hour to get there, an hour to eat, and then it'll kick on. And that way, right as you're getting back, it'll be finishing its cycle. So your clothes aren't sitting in there smelling moldy. And that's great, because you know how that happens, right? Nobody wants that. And then you can change all these different things. You could do extra rinses, stuff like that, whatever you want. Different processes here. So all I want to do, none of that. It does that. I'm only plugged into a wall outlet. I don't have water. So I'm just going to turn it off now. I just want to make sure it's going to work. But that seems sturdy. We're probably going to want some sort of strap or something so this isn't rattling on here the whole time. Just because that might get old or break loose or something. We'll just put some kind of Velcro strap or something here just to secure it. And then we can put our Makita cordless vac back. Oh wait, no we can't. We have to do some mild cleaning here. Let's do it. Check this out. Oh yeah, works like a dream. Oh, we got some heavy things. Let's go high. Yes. Much better than a broom. Much better. Now, just like everything else, I mounted this to the wall, but I did it so it's carrying its weight on the floor. That way it supports itself. The wall is just keeping it from falling over. And there you have it. There's our washer machine. Very nice, very nice. On our next trip, like I said, we'll do a little review on it whenever we go to use it. See you then. Buff it up, 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 buff it up,